Hello fellow brawlers, I'm KairosTime and it is time to brawl. Now for today's video, we are going to be going over the changes from the last tier list to this tier list. And you guys know what that means, right? A whole lot of Brawl Stars puns. Let's see if you can catch them all. A lot has changed since the last tier list. We've gotten 2 new brawlers, 3 sets of balance changes, and gadgets have become commonplace, which means that you're not going to want to miss this tier list because lots of changes. We're gonna start with the 3v3 modes, we'll move our way to the 10-man modes, and then end with the overall tier list. First up is Gem Grab, and then we'll move on to the Brawl Ball tier list. For starters, we got Rico going down from the B tier to the non-ranked category. This OG bot is a little outdated and in need of a major upgrade. He's beginning to rust, especially as new brawlers are outshining him in the meta. Gale is being added into the B tier. Now he is determined not to outshine Master P, but Gale is still in the chill tier, the B tier. He is viable, but mostly due to his gadget, which is insanely awesome, but he offers very minimal benefit aside from that. Up next is Daryl moving from the A tier, rolling on down into the B tier. Max is going down from the A tier into the B tier. Now ironically, Max is slowly running herself into the ground as previous nerfs to her health are beginning to sink in. BB is going from the non-ranked category up into the B tier. Talking about fast, BB is the new speed star in town. And despite the recent nerf to her health, her ability to pressure enemies and avoid damage because of her additional speed makes her viable in Gem Grab. Leon's going from the non-ranked category up into the B tier. Now Leon does have some viability in the mode, but only some. Sprout is starting in the A tier for Gem Grab. Sprout is the strongest thrower in Gem Grab, and believe me when I say it, he does anything but throw. Except that's exactly what he does. Penny's moving down from the S tier into the A tier. Despite having an awesome gadget, Penny just does not have enough DPS from her main attack to be able to defend against the highly aggressive and tanky Gem Grab meta. B is moving up from the B tier into the A tier. Faster shots and an upgraded gadget means that B is no longer B, she's A. Talk about an identity crisis. Bo is moving from the B tier into the A tier. Bo has an extremely impactful gadget, and when placed correctly, it adds a lot of benefit to himself and teammates in Gem Grab. Ems is going from the A tier into the S tier. While highly aggressive melee brawlers are dominating the side lanes, Ems finds herself in the spotlight of the S tier as one of the strongest counters to those tankier brawlers. And of course, we have Pam replacing Jean as the golden S tier brawler. After a game-breaking skin revamp, Pam has wham-bammed Jean's throne and is now crowned the thick and chunky Pam. I mean, Pam's viability might have something to do with her high DPS to deal with the really tanky meta, but I'm pretty sure it's just a skin change. And this is the Gem Grab tier list. Make sure you grab those screenshots so you can show them to your kids. Now, before we move on to the Brawl Ball tier list, you guys should know that these tier lists are made in partnership with 11 competitive tier list collaborators and BrawlStats.com. BrawlStats gives us the win rates and the pick rates above 700 trophies, and then actual players' experience with the meta help interpret the data to make the most accurate tier list for Brawl Stars for this meta. I'm going to include links to the competitive players' social media, and you can find a link to BrawlStats website and mobile apps in the description of all of my videos. And using Brawl Stats will give you a competitive advantage. Unless you're playing with randoms, then, you know, good luck. Up next, we got the Brawl Ball tier list, and then we'll move on to the Heist tier list. Shelly is going down from the B tier into the non-competitive, non-ranked F tier. Remember the good old days when Brawl Ball was plagued with tanks and Shelly could just defend like a crazy person? Nowadays, Brawl Ball is more complicated. We got penguins, we got bees, we got mummies, all of which do a really good job of countering Shelly. Tick is moving down from the B tier into the non-competitive tier as well. You might be ticked to hear that Tick is no longer viable in Brawl Ball, but hey, if your goal is to throw, have at him. 8-Bit's going down from the B tier to the unranked category. Brawl Ball is all about speed, and 8-Bit just is too slow to do well in the competitive meta for Brawl Ball. Gale is being added into the A tier. He's got a great gadget for bringing teammates close to the enemy goal, and his super is fantastic on defense. Sprout is being added into the A tier. You got somebody trying to score. Oh, guess what? There's a wall. Yeah, with Sprout now in the game, there is a perfect way to defend against a goal. Paired with some annoying chip damage, Sprout makes a solid choice. Max is going down from the A tier into the S tier. Seems like Max is just running out of juice, or more accurately, health. Despite setting the stage for some really great goal opportunities, she lacks the survivability to execute them, and that means that more often than not, she just dies. Jean is going from the S tier into the A tier, with his Magic Puff star power being the reason for his previous S tier status. Now that there are lots of brawlers in the meta that deal damage to multiple targets, making clumping up close to teammates less beneficial, Jean's gonna take a step down for now. Carl's going from the B tier up into the A tier. A little extra damage from his super is exactly what he needed to dig a route back into the A tier. Now, while knockback, gadgets, and supers are still an issue for Carl, he really devastates when he's able to successfully land a really toxic spin on the enemies. How you guys liking these puns so far? I'm just getting started. Barley's going from the B tier into the A tier. With a buff to his sticky syrup mixer gadget, Barley is much better at dealing with heavy tanks, which makes him pretty great at Brawl Ball, especially on the right map. BB's going from the B tier into the A tier. It might be time for BB to quit the Little League and join the big brawlers in soccer. Football. Her speed boost means more goal opportunities, more saves, more kills, and more wins. B is going from the A tier into the S tier. Believe me when I say that buffs to B's honeypot has made a world of difference for her, especially because the radius is so large. And of course, we got Jackie replacing Ems as the golden S tier brawler, the best brawler for Brawl Ball. Her pneumatic booster leads to pneumatic goal opportunities and overall dominance. This is also partly due to the nerf to Ems' hype star power. And here is the Brawl Ball tier list. Grab that screenshot because we're moving on. Up next is Heist, and then we'll move on to Bounty. But before that, guys, make sure you use code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop the next time you spend gems, not only to help support my family and this channel, but because it makes you look cool. Kairos, code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop. Use code Kairos and enemy randoms won't see this video, but friendly randoms will, so you'll always play with the best brawlers and you'll look cool. Rose is going down from the A tier into the B tier. Flower power just isn't enough for Rosa to hold her ground in the A tier. Stronger ranged options exist, which make it difficult for her to stay rooted. Jackie's going down from the A tier into the B tier. Jackie's hit bedrock. She just doesn't have the DPS to deal with tanky brawlers or to even have a big impact on the enemy safe, even if she's able to get close to it. Mr. P's going down from the A tier into the B tier. Looks like Mr. P needs to start packing heavier luggage because without enough DPS for the safe, he's now just B tier. Sandy's going up from the unranked category up into the B tier. Sandy's woken up in Heist with a whopping 80 extra damage to his base main attack, just enough to make him viable, but only with the right comps and on the right maps. Gale is being added into the A tier. Gale might be distraught to know he surpassed Mr. P in Heist, but he can find refuge in knowing that it's only because of his spring ejector gadget, which makes it easier for his teammates to get close to the enemy safe. By himself, Mr. P still got him beat. Max is going down from the S tier into the A tier. Max is finally beginning to slow down across the board with Gale, spring ejector, offering an easier way to help enemies get close to the enemy safe. Max is now being outshined a bit. Nita is going from the S tier into the A tier. Now, after a nerf to her gadget, Nita has fewer opportunities to successfully land her hyper bear on the enemy safe. You could say that she offers less bear power than before. Colt is going from the B tier into the A tier. Equipped with his speed loader gadget, there is no messing with this sheriff. Once he's in range with the enemy safe, he can single-handedly melt through it. Dynamite's going from the B tier up into the A tier. With his newfound ability to move while using his super, Dynamite has improved enough on defense to justify moving up into the A tier. Spike is going from the A tier up into the S tier. Now that he has his popping pincushion gadget, Spike is a thorn on the enemy team's safe, where he can really deal explosive damage. Brock is going from the A tier up into the S tier as well. With aid from his new kicks, Brock has launched himself into the S tier, providing him with a unique opportunity to be able to jump over walls when he wants to. Daryl's going from the A tier up into the S tier. The fact that his gadget can now help charge his super as well means that this barrel bot's got roll for days. Barley's going up from the A tier to the S tier, replacing Bull as the golden S tier brawler. Bull is no longer in charge. With his new syrup drink on the menu, Barley has leapt up into the S tier and dethroned the long-reigning king of Heist. Now that Barley has an effective way for him to slow down enemies with his gadget, he is the strongest thrower in the mode and arguably the best brawler for Heist. And here you have it, the Heist tier list, guys. Up next, we got the Bounty tier list, and then we will move on to the Siege tier list. Crow is going from the B tier into the non-ranked, non-competitive F tier. Crow lost one of his 3 defense boosters, which was his saving grace in the current Bounty meta. Now he just does not match up against other options. Dynamite's also going from the B tier into the non-ranked tier as well. Now that we got Sprout and Tick, who are both better bounty throwers, Dynamite may as well just retire from the mode. Gale's being added into the B tier. While Mike may be retiring, Gale's only just getting started. With a respectable ranged attack and a unique gadget, Gale can be played with aggressive brawlers to counter those long-range brawlers who tend to struggle up close. B's going down from the A tier into the B tier. Despite having more than enough honey in her revamped gadget along with her projectile speed buff, other brawlers are now equipped with gadgets that add value in Bounty frequently. In contrast, B's gadget rarely gets used in Bounty, which justifies moving her down to the B tier. Leon's going from the non-ranked tier up into the B tier. If 3v3's your jam and you need to play Leon for some reason, Bounty is your best bet. With killing being the only objective in Bounty, this is where Leon's suboptimal assassin skills, well, be enough. Tara's going from the non-ranged tier up into the B tier as well. With her all-seeing eye, Tara's psychic enhancer outshines even Bo's vision, leading to some great Kairos times. Opportune moments. Especially on grassier maps like Snake Prairie and Deeper Danger. Poco's also going from the non-ranged tier up into the B tier. With newer grassier maps, tanks are more viable in Bounty, and where tanks are more viable, there's our healing friend Poco to keep them alive while they get shot in the face. Now with a slight damage buff since the last tier list, Poco can now kill brawlers like Colt and Brock in 4 hits instead of 5, which does actually impact Bounty a little bit. Jackie's going from the non-ranged tier up into the B tier as well. Talking about tank viability, Jackie, especially with her pneumatic booster, is able to slam enemies into dust, but only if she can get close enough. Sandy's going from the B tier into the A tier. This is because of his gadget that can help keep him alive, along with a super that helps him and other brawlers get close to enemy targets. Penny's going from the S tier into the A tier. Penny's ship is beginning to sink, with stronger ranged options and a new dominant thrower on the scene. Speaking of which, Sprout is being added into the S tier and is replacing Tick as the golden S tier brawler, the best brawler for Bounty. You might say Sprout is ticking players off even more than Tick himself. Sprout has taken root and grown all over the Bounty with one of the top use rates in the mode. Its super can create pinches and save allies when in a pinch. Its gadget is a literal lifesaver, and its main attack is hard to dodge, and with the overgrowth star power, it's nearly unavoidable. And here you guys have it, the Bounty tier list. Up next is Siege, and then we'll move on to Solo Showdown. Starting off, we got Jessie going from the B tier into the non-ranked tier. Even Scrappy is not enough to carry Jessie through the B tier, especially because most of the best brawlers with Siege can easily take her turret out. Bruce is going down from the B tier into the non-ranged tier. If only Bruce could be tamed and not walk directly into the enemy Ike zone. You just feel bad for the guy. And yes, in case you're curious, I'm calling Nita Bruce because really Bruce is the only one that was good in Siege in the first place. Sprout is being added into the B tier. Despite low DPS, Sprout's super has infested Siege. It's really beneficial to use his super to block enemies off from bolts, especially on maps with walls. Rose is going from the A tier down to the B tier. With highly viable counters in Frank and Ems, there's less incentive to put this vegan Brit into action. Cheerio, Rosa. Max is going down from the A tier into the B tier. Go, 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 go! More like down, 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 as Max viability is plummeted across every 3v3 mode. Bull is going down from the A tier into the B tier. Similar to Rosa, Bull's running out of steam as melee viability isn't the same with stronger ranged options in the meta. Now 8-Bit's going from the unranked category up into the B tier. With the DPS to get the job done, this arcade game is back in business. At least he is on the right map or with the right team comp. Gale's being added to the A tier. Mr. P will be so happy because Gale has made it into the A tier because, you guessed it, all because of his spring ejector gadget. His gadget allows for him to kamikaze style swarm the enemy tank, which is particularly devastating when he has a couple of high health, high DPS teammates alongside him. In fact, if left unguarded, Gale and 2 teammates can single-handedly take out an enemy Ike turret without the help of a bot, which means you should definitely keep an eye out for him. Daryl's moving down from the S tier into the A tier. With most tanks taking a hit, Daryl is no exception. He's still a great option with a high win rate, but he struggles to keep rolling as much as he did in this competitive meta. Ems is going down from the golden S tier into the A tier. I bet you totally weren't expecting this, but Ems' hype and gadget nerfs are raining on this girl's golden S tier parade. Brock is going from the B tier up into the A tier. Brock's hops give him amazing versatility, especially early game prior to the walls being broken down, where he can jump over walls and away from tanks trying to throw off his groove. Carl's going up from the B tier into the A tier. As long as it's not showdown, spin to win, and that is exactly what Carl is doing after his new buff to his super. And Jean is going from the A tier up into the S tier. A good Jean is totally worth the S tier status, with magic puffs helping him maintain mid control with his teammates, and his super that can pull enemies into his Ike zone, and the ability to pull bots away from his own Ike turret. Sandy is moving up from the A tier into the S tier. Remember the last tier list where I said Sandy just doesn't pack enough punch to control the mid? Well, he got a main attack buff, and boom, Sandy is back in action. Pam is leading from the B tier into the S tier, replacing Ems as the golden S tier brawler, the best brawler for Siege. If you didn't know it before, you know it now. Pam can jump. This beast of a brawler claims yet another golden S tier position with superior range, health, healing, and damage. The burst heal of her pulse modulator gadget provides more value with each ally in it, allowing for great team survivability, especially when defending against an enemy robot or going on the offense on an enemy Ike. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Siege tier list. Up next is Solo Showdown, and then we will cover Duo Showdown. Rico's going down from the B tier into the non-ranged tier. The Rico model of this robot is obsolete in Showdown, where maps are typically less angular, and he's so squishy that he just gets taken out too easily. Barley's also going from the B tier into the non-ranged tier, retiring alongside his buddy Rico. Barley has few maps that actually benefit his thrower style of play. Colt is going from the B tier and the non-ranged tier as well. The Sheriff's turning in his badge as Colt's requirement for precision along with his low health makes it difficult for Colt to protect himself from all angles. Sprout is being added into the B tier. Without teammates to help cover Sprout up close, Sprout can do fairly well in Showdown, but he's better off planting somewhere else. Spring Ejector is being, Gale is being added into the B tier. Gale barely qualifies as viable for, once again, another mode, but his ability to run away at a very long distance definitely helps him avoid conflict, but he is not the best at taking enemies down. Spike is going down from the A tier into the B tier. Between you and me, guys, Brawlers are starting to catch on. They are no longer mistaking Spike for a genuine cactus. I don't know about you guys, I still get confused, but that's making it tough for this squishy cactus to survive. Leon's going down from the A tier into the B tier. Now, in theory, you would think that being invisible in Showdown would make Leon OP, and it does, but it requires better range DPS and faster reload speed to really work out, and Leon does not have those things going for him. Terra's going up from the non-ranged tier up into the B tier. With her third eye, Terra no longer needs to waste critical ammunition to enter grass, which is what this now legitimate psychic needs in Showdown. El Primo's going from the non-ranged tier up into the B tier. Now, the Collaborators were really wrestling on this one, but with grassier maps in rotation and a versatile super, El Primo's perfectly fit for B tier. BB's going up from the B tier into the S tier. It is a home run for BB. She passes the B tier, she passes the A tier, and makes a home run passing the S tier with her improved speed and a lot more viability in the mode. Now, Pam is replacing 8-Bit as the Golden S tier brawler. She has done it again. Golden Mama Pam has dethroned the longtime reigning Showdown champion and has claimed her third mode as the best brawler for Showdown. Without any recent balance changes, this is just proof that skins equals wins, baby. That's right, guys. Who's your mama? And here's the Solo Showdown tier list, guys. Get a good look out of it because we are moving on to the Duo Showdown tier list, and then we'll go over the overall tier list. By the way, we're not going to go over Hot Zone because it's just going to get removed this week because Supercell's just testing it out. I hope you guys played it a lot so Supercell makes it a permanent mode. I really hope so. I was in the middle of a move, so fortunately I wasn't able to play as much as I would like to. Fail. Starting off, we got Rico going down from the B tier into the non-ranked tier. This is for the same reasons as in Solo Showdown. Dynamite's also moved from the B tier into the non-ranked tier with fewer maps in the mix to benefit Dynamite's thrower play style. Mike tends to throw games, rendering him unranked. Nita is going down from the B tier into the non-ranged tier as well, with one less stun at her disposal and naturally low DPS. Nita's unbearably bad in Duo Showdown. Gale has sprung his way into the B tier with a respectable ranged attack and a jump pad that allows for fleeing and ambushing enemies. Leon's going down from the A tier into the B tier. With most duos operating as clumps sticking by their teammate, Leon's benefits are even more invisible as he does not have the DPS or health to eliminate enemy pairs. Terra's going from the non-ranged tier into the B tier. The eye, guys, the eye. It's the eye. B's moving from the S tier into the A tier. While still a beautiful option, B's honeycoat isn't thick enough to distinguish her as an S tier brawler, especially with the gadget that doesn't move across the map along with her. Piper's going from the B tier into the A tier. A rework for Piper's gadget for greater ability in a pinch, along with relatively open maps, is just what this gal needed to pop up into A tier. Jackie's moving from the A tier into the S tier. Equipped with one of the strongest gadgets in the game, Jackie's pneumatic booster allows for critical ambushes and clutch flees. She's drilled a notable hole into the Duo Showdown meta, where no pair is safe from her devastating drill. Sprout is being added into the S tier and replacing Jean as the golden S tier brawler. Move aside Jean, Sprout is the new sovereign in Duo Showdown with excellent range, attacks that are not limited by walls, and an emergency wall to help him avoid death. And here you guys have it, the Duo Showdown tier list. And here you have the overall tier list. For the first time in the history of the KairosTime tier list, we've got a three-way tie for the #1 spot. Jackie, Mr. P, and Gene. Now, Mr. P has dominated the top brawler position since his release, spanning across 3-tier lists due to how consistently good he is across all 7 modes. Behind the golden trio is the newly introduced Sprout and the elusive Sandy. And then wham bam, where is Pam? Despite claiming 3 out of the 7 golden S-tier titles, Pam is tied for the 3rd highest point total with none other than Ems. And Gale is the first new brawler since the release of Ems to find himself in the A tier instead of the S tier. And of course, guys, yet again, we got, for the 3rd time in a row, Shelly dead last as the worst brawler in Brawl Stars. If you guys could buff Shelly, the OGest of the OG, how would you buff her? And if you were granted the Deadly Might, which one of the brawlers would you slam with the Nerf hammer? Let me know in the comment section below. Once again, I could not do this without Brawl Stats and the tier list collaborators. Shadow Jutsu, It's the U-Day, Juarez JRZ, Ilvstria, Barley God, Corey Brawl Stars, Power Couple YT, Min Woong, Lukey Bear, and Portal. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Use code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop, and for now, this is KairosTime ticking by, and we will see you in Brawl Stars.